She was just 12. They placed the crown of marriage upon her head, not out of love, not out of choice, but out of politics, bloodlines, and greed. She was a noble's daughter, born into royalty, but not born with rights, not as a girl. Her father, Count Baldwin of Flanders, had only one ambition for her: to be married off to strengthen political alliances. And so, before she'd even finished playing with dolls, negotiations for her marriage had begun. Her name was Matilda of Flanders, and this is the astonishing story of how a child bride used, born illegitimately, but with fire in his blood and war in his veins. He was rough, unrefined, and feared. Matilda was terrified that William rode to her father's castle, furious, and dragged her down by her braids. Others say she slapped him across the face. She was a ruler in her own right. Matilda now held real power, political, financial, and diplomatic. She issued her own charters. She bore at least 9 children, but not all survived. Her son Richard died in a hunting accident. Her beloved William, known as William Rufus, would grow to be cruel and cold. Her marriage, while built on ambition, was often tested by distance and grief, and yet she endured. Her signature appeared beside her husband's. She spoke 6 languages, mediated between rebellious nobles and her husband, and even ruled Normandy alone while William was away in England. But what we do know is this: after the dust settled, Matilda agreed to the marriage. She became a queen, and underestimated would rise to become one of the most powerful women England has ever known. When Matilda was born in 1031, her future was already decided. Her advisors began calling her Mother of the Realm. Peasants whispered blessings when she passed. Nobles feared her intelligence. At just 12 years old, Matilda was married to William of Normandy, a man known as William the Bastard. Sometimes it survives childbirth, war, betrayal, and grief. And sometimes it wears the face of a child who was never supposed to rule. Her body bore the weight of motherhood far too early. Her mind, though, was already sharpening. William mourned her deeply. He never remarried. At her funeral, he was seen in tears, a rare sight for the conqueror. The very man who had once stormed her palace and taken her hand by force now stood broken by her loss. For while William fought his wars, Matilda ruled in his absence. She learned to manage affairs of state. She advised, mediated, even negotiated with foreign powers. Behind the curtains of the royal court, the teenage mother was quietly becoming a queen in all but name. There are tales, yes, legends that say she refused his proposal at first. She sold her own jewelry, rallied support from powerful allies, and sent ships across the sea for her husband's cause. Without her, there may have never been a Norman conquest. Was it fear? Was it strategy? Or something deeper? At 13, she gave birth to her first child, still just a child herself. And when William set his sights on the greatest prize of all, the throne of England, it was Matilda who funded much of his campaign. In 1066, when William became King of England, Matilda became queen consort. But she was far more than a figurehead. For a woman who'd once been forced into marriage, forced into motherhood, but her journey wasn't without heartbreak. At court, Matilda became a symbol of dignity and strength. Even the Pope praised her diplomacy. When she died in 1083 at the age of 52, Matilda's tomb reads, "Here lies Matilda, Queen of the English, wife of the great King William." But what it should have said was, "Here lies the girl they tried to silence." Her story is a reminder that power doesn't always roar like a lion. Sometimes it whispers in the halls of castles. From broken child bride to the true architect of the Norman dynasty, Matilda of Flanders, the queen they didn't see coming,